Top 10 French Foods. In this video, I will be going over 10 of the most delicious French foods that you can enjoy. From croissants to escargot, we have it all. Take a culinary journey through the French cuisine, and discover the most popular dishes in France. From the iconic baguette to escargot, France is famous for its high quality and delicious food. Thank you for choosing this video. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. 1. Soup à l'oignon. This is a classic French soup cooked with onions and beef stock, generally topped with croutons and melted cheese. This was typically a peasant dish dating back to Roman times, while the current version originated from the 18th century. The caramelization of the onions, which are frequently flavored with brandy or sherry during the slow cooking process, gives the soup its distinct flavor. Try Marseille's famous soupe de poisson à la rouille if you're in the mood for soup. This soup is distinguished by a dollop of garlic and saffron mayonnaise on top, which was once a favorite of fishermen. 2. Coq au vin. Julia Child popularized this classic French recipe, which became one of her hallmark dishes. Chicken is braised with wine, mushrooms, salty pork or bacon, lardons, mushrooms, onions, garlic, and perhaps a splash of brandy in this meal. Despite the fact that the name means rooster in wine, and the braising method is suitable for tougher birds, the recipe frequently calls for chicken or capon. Although regional variants of the meal occur across France that use local wines, the wine is primarily Burgundy. Coq au vin jaune, Jura. Coq au Riesling, Alsace, and Coq au Pourpre, Alsace, are among them. Beaujolais Nouveau. There's even a Coq au Champagne, believe it or not. 3. Cassoulet. Cassoulet is a hearty stew made with white beans and pork. The meal is usually made with pork or duck, although it can also be made with sausages, goose, mutton, or whatever else the cook has on hand. This peasant meal is famous in Toulouse, Carcassonne, and Castelnaudary, and it comes from southern France. The dish's name is derived from the baking pot, cassole, in which it is typically prepared. This pot is a common sight in many French households, demonstrating the appeal of this hearty, rich dish that's ideal for the winter months. 4. Bœuf bourguignon. Bœuf bourguignon is one of the most traditional French dishes. The meal comes from the same region as coq au vin, Burgundy in eastern France, and the two dishes have certain similarities. Bœuf bourguignon is a stew made with braised beef, beef broth, and seasoned vegetables such as pearl onions and mushrooms cooked in red wine. This recipe, which originated as a peasant meal, is now a standard in French restaurants all over the world. Although certain shortcuts can be taken, the cheap cuts of beef are traditionally tenderized in wine for 2 days to intensify the flavors. The Fête du Charolais, held in August in Burgundy, honors the meal with music and wine. 5. Chocolate soufflé. The word soufflé is derived from the French verb to blow, and it refers to a light and fluffy dessert. The dish dates back to the early 1800s and is now a common sight on dessert menus all around the world. The crisp chocolatey shell allows the creamy chocolate to pour out for a wonderful delight. It does not, however, have to be sweet. In fact, if you're looking for something a little saltier, cheese soufflés are just as good. 6. Flemish. The word soufflé is derived from the French verb to blow, and it refers to a light and fluffy dessert. The dish dates back to the early 1800s and is now a common sight on dessert menus all around the world. The crisp chocolatey shell allows the creamy chocolate to pour out for a wonderful delight. It does not, however, have to be sweet. In fact, if you're looking for something a little saltier, cheese soufflés are just as good. 7. Confit de canard. Confit de canard is a delicious French duck dish, though some chefs use goose or pork instead. It is considered one of the best French dishes. The meat is made utilizing old preservation techniques in a slow cooking method, confit. The duck meat is marinated for 36 hours in salt, garlic, and thyme before being slow cooked in its own fat at low temperatures. This is a better option than frying. On the side, it's usually served with confit roasted potatoes and garlic. Today, this meal is popular throughout France, although the tastiest variants may be found in the Gascony region. 8. Salade Niçoise. Salade Niçoise is a traditional French salad from the region of Provence. It's commonly served as a side dish, but it can also be served as a light dinner on its own. Lettuce, fresh tomatoes, boiled eggs, tuna, canned or fresh, green beans, Niçoise Caladier olives, and anchovies make up the salad. There are, however, a plethora of options to pick from. So, If you're having trouble coming up with the perfect summer menu, try Salade Niçoise. 9. Ratatouille. Ratatouille isn't just a cute cartoon about a nice rat, it's also one of France's most famous cuisines. The meal, which hails from Provence, involves shallow frying veggies before layering them in a casserole dish and baking them in the oven. For generations, French cooks have debated whether the veggies should be cooked first, but the results are delicious no matter how you make them. This traditional peasant dish is delicious with red wine and crusty bread as a side dish, appetizer, or main course. Piperade is a similar Basque meal that generally includes ham and eggs in the stewed vegetable mix. 10. Tarte tatin. Tarte tatin is said to have begun off as a mistake in the kitchen. Stéphanie Tatin, a hotelier, was creating a typical apple pie in 1898 when she mistakenly overcooked the apples in sugar and butter. In a rush to save the dessert, she piled the pastry foundation on top of the charred fruit and baked it. She allegedly presented the upside-down tart to her guests at Hotel Tatin, and it became the hotel's signature dish as a result.